her family celebrated her in Colorado. And they had a wonderful family gathering with friends that she's made in Colorado. 2 weeks ago, we had the Natchez family funeral that I was fortunate enough to attend, and she was celebrated in such a beautiful way by her entire family, which a lot of her family members are here today, and her son Jay Meyers is here in the audience, and he made his way to Colorado, from Colorado to here. This is a very different celebration. This is another family that needs to be celebrated, and this is the theater family. This family would not be standing without the seeds that Sue has planted. And boy, have these seeds flourished. It is an extreme honor to stand before you to let you know that I'm one of those people that received her seed and her investment and her belief. And there are so many students here today. And I would like to ask you all to stand up if you're a former student of the Junior Art Part Player program. Thank you so much. I won't make you do it again. And for those of you that are not aware of the endearment of the damn drama people slogan, that was something that Doug Burgess, her first director of Parks and Rec, and I think her last, that is what he named us. But it was meant with love, right, Doug? Absolutely. And we were a very unique group, and we still are. But we stand today because of Sue Fenley Meyers. So this will be a very unique celebration today. We have some wonderful tributes, and we have some students that are going to speak. And I know we started late, so I could already hear Sue snapping her fingers. And in Sue's words, if she even knew this was going on, which I have a feeling she does, from a wonderful seat, and I call it the best seat in the house, which is heaven. In Sue's words, I don't do dead. But she's not, because she's in the presence of her Heavenly Father, in a perfect body, not suffering, and she went on her own terms. So we're going to start this. You've all got a program, and I'm going to ask Rusty Groves to come and say some words and the opening prayer.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. It is so wonderful to see so many friends and old friends, all of us together, and in this place where we've all spent and occasionally misspent time together with Sue. Before we hear those fingers snapping, though, may I ask that we all bow our heads in prayer. Father God, we acknowledge your presence here and come before you this morning as friends and family of Sue Meyers. We're here because we love her and we'll miss her, Father. Be with us as we share our memories of Miss Sue and celebrate her lasting impact on all of our lives. We grieve her passing, but we know that it is just a passing from life here with us to an everlasting life with you. Heavenly Father, we thank you that you are a God of mercy who promises to comfort us, particularly when we lose a loved one. And so in these moments now and in the months ahead, please bring comfort and mercy to us as we remember and fondly share all that Miss Sue was to us. In the mighty and holy name of Jesus we pray. Amen. Amen.
This is a very special day in the city of Deer Park because today is officially Sue Fenley Meyers Day. That's right. So at this time, I'm going to ask Bill Patterson, Mayor Pro Tem, if he will make the presentation. And I would ask for Jay Meyers, her son, to receive the proclamation. Thank you, Bill.
So what did Doug Burgess call you guys?
The damn drama. It was actually those damn.
It was those damn drama. Oh, I'm sorry, those damn drama people.
Well, my first exposure to drama was when I was at Baylor University. I was married, Peggy, my wife. We had a small daughter, Sydney. I was working to work my way through school. And I noticed all these kids walking around the campus dressed funny, looked funny. Baylor had a theater group there that was quite well known, and they were called the Drama Mamas. And little did I know then that shortly after that we'd be coming to the Deer Park area. I went to work for Shell, and we moved over on Kentucky Street across from Wayne Riddle in 1976. Shortly thereafter, I attended my first theater performance over at the community center, room 6, right? Susan was in diapers. Jean Riggs was carrying her around like a papoose. But how fortunate our city has been to recognize the importance of a theater group in the community and what value it adds to just the culture and the history and the background, and so much value. And we are so grateful that Sue came our way. And with that in mind, I'm going to read this proclamation from the office of mayor. And Jay, it's nice to have you. I was telling Jay you had a good drive from Colorado. I guess it took about 2 days to get here. But you flew here.
It took me 2 hours.
2 hours.
He was driving fast.
It's good to have you with us, Jay. Your mother meant a lot to our community. Okay, Office of the Mayor, proclamation. Whereas Sue Fenley Meyers was born on May the 10th, 1938 in Lufkin, Texas. She had 6 brothers and 6 sisters, 2 children, 3 grandchildren, 21 nieces and nephews, all of whom she loved dearly. She studied drama at the University of Southwestern Louisiana in Lafayette, went on to act, direct, write, promote, and produce over 200 theatrical events in her lifetime. In addition to her work in adult theater, she created a legacy for the city of Deer Park, Texas. Now, whereas the city of Deer Park recognized the community's love of theatrical arts and hired Sue Fenley Meyers on May the 4th, 1981, as the full-time artistic managing director of the not yet named theater company. I guess that's what you guys were called. Which eventually became the Art Park Players, as is known to this day. Under Sue's leadership, the program experienced rapid growth, and in December 1986, the current theater facility was opened by the city, in which you sit today. This was her glory, her legacy, and several of her students have gone on to become professional writers, directors, actors, dancers, singers, and influential artists. And whereas Sue retired from the city of Deer Park in 2004 and moved to Colorado to be with her beloved children, Jay Myers, Kelly Myers Southern, and grandchildren, Susan Knott, Mitchell, and Johnny. And whereas the thing that she loved the most in the world were children, all children, she established the Meade Home Scholarship in 1990, which was awarded annually to the outstanding junior Art Park Players student. And the first annual Sue Fenley Meyers Scholarship, 6 in total, were presented last month in her memory. And whereas Sue's 22 plus years within our community reflect a lifetime of achievement through her passion, vision for children, and the importance of arts and theater in Deer Park. And whereas Sue has been a joy, inspiration, touched so many lives by sharing her talents, wisdom, and experiences with others. Today, I join her family, theater family, and friends in honoring her memory. Now, therefore, I, Jerry Mouton, Mayor of the City of Deer Park, do hereby proclaim June the 22nd, 2019 as Sue Fenley Meyers Day, in witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand, I have caused the official seal of the City of Deer Park to be affixed hereto this 22nd day of June 2019 AD. Jerry Mouton, Mayor of the City of Deer Park. Thank you, Jay, for sharing
Our next next presentation will be by the lovely Beverly Ferguson Cooper, Regional Director, Office of U.S. Representative Brian Babin, our very dear friend. She has a congressional record presentation that she will also be making to Jay and myself. On behalf of the theater.
And yes, we are really good friends of Art Park. Art Park is really good to us. Susan is following in Sue's footsteps because we have a congressional art competition for U.S. students that are high school students for all over the United States. And Art Park, they represent that, and they do our trophies and everything for us. And so it's phenomenal, and I just love working with Susan. And when she asked about this, matter of fact, she didn't ask for a congressional record. She said, well, ask for something. But you know what? I didn't know Sue, but she deserves this congressional record. Yes, and if you know what a congressional record is, it goes in the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C. It'll be there as long as the United States stands, and let's hope it stands.
Amen. Amen.
Amen. Woo, pray. Woo. But anyway, some of the same things that the Mayor Pro Tem said, we have a few things in here. But on behalf of U.S. Congressman Brian Babin, Texas 36, and we're doing this because she was here 23 years. Normally this would be done in Colorado. But because she was here so long, she belongs here. Yes, yes. Congressional record, proceedings and debates of the 116th Congress, first session. House of Representatives, Honorable Brian Babin of Texas and the House of Representatives, Friday, June 21st, 2019, honoring the life of Sue Fenley Meyers. Mr. Babin, Madam Speaker, I rise today to honor the life of longtime Deer Park resident Sue Fenley Meyers, who passed away on April 10th, 2019 in Colorado. Sue Fenley Meyers was born on May 10th, 1938 in Lufkin, Texas. She had 6 brothers and sisters, 2 children, 3 grandchildren, and 21 nieces and nephews, all of them whom she loved dearly. Sue studied drama at the University of Southwestern Louisiana in Lafayette and went on to act and direct, write, promote, and produce over 200 theatrical events in her lifetime. The city officials in Deer Park, Texas, have long recognized the community's love of theatrical arts. On May 4th, 1981, the city hired Sue as the full-time artistic managing director of the Art Park Players. Under her leadership, the program experienced rapid growth, and in December 1986, the city opened its current theater facility. Sue's legacy is synonymous with the history of the Art Park Players. Several of her students have gone on to become professional writers, directors, actors, dancers, singers, and influential artists to this day. The things she loved the most in the world were children. We're thankful for that. Yeah. Sue established the Med-Home Scholarship in 1990, which was awarded annually to outstanding junior Art Park Player students, and the first annual Sue Fenley Meyers Scholarships, 6 in total, were presented last month in her memory. Sue's 22 plus years within our community reflect a lifetime of achievement through her love for children, passion, vision, and importance of arts and arts education in Deer Park. She retired from the city of Deer Park in 2004 and moved to Colorado, where she is survived by her beloved son, Jay Meyers, and wife, Margaret, daughter, Kelly Meyers, Southern, and husband, Brent, grandchildren, Susanna, okay, Roberts, Mitchell Meyers, Johnny Meyers, and her 4 sisters and 3 brothers. Madam Speaker, my condolences remain with the family, theater family, and friend of Sue Fenley Meyers, Brian Babin, member of Congress. And at this time, I'm going to do something really different. At this time, well, that's the life I live, okay?
Welcome to the theater.
Okay, so I am going to present this to you on behalf of your mother for the family, on behalf of Congressman Babin, Okay, so if you'll turn that one around.
Thank you.
Okay, no, turn it around, like this.
There you go.
You're good.
Okay.
You're good.
And this is for Art Park, for the Art Park players.
I turned it correctly.
Okay. I made sure, okay. And this one right here is going to be for your sister, because she couldn't be here.
Oh,
All right, thank you very much, and you all have a wonderful day.
thank you.
At this time, we're going to have some video tributes and students that are going to speak, former students. And so what I would like is I'm going to talk about them real quick. Britt Layfield, who was one of Sue's first students, sent in a video from New York. Then Trisha Filippini, Garrett, is going to say some words. Then we have a video tribute by Steve Boyson, who was going to be here, but his father-in-law has dementia. He had to cancel his flight and take care of him because they've got to put him in a home. But he'll be here for Mamma Mia. And then Michael Garrett will speak, former student. We have a video tribute, and Natalie David will say a few words. And then her son Jay will get up and speak and say a few words, and that's a lie. And then Jean Riggs will say some words, and then I will get to the closing. But if y'all would just remember, Sue is back there. And by the way, I want everybody to turn around, because if you knew anything about this theater, you know where she sat. That seat right back there. That seat is held for her, and it's got the arrangement of flowers. So I can see Sue snapping her fingers, so that means you get ready to come down here when you're finished, when the person ahead of you is finished. But anyway, we'll start these tributes now, and I'm just so touched by your presence here today, the former students that are here today. So many people called and sent texts and Facebook, which I'm not very good with, and sent messages about how they wish they could be here and they would write nice things. And just y'all being here today is such a testament to the passion that she instilled in all of you. And it's an honor to sit and watch what you're going to say. Sue is incredibly proud, as I am, to see where you've gone and to see how you've grown up. And these children that are coming down, and I have to call them children, are children that have really done something special with their lives. And every one of these students that sits in this building today, they're successful, they're smart, they're mothers, they're fathers, they own their own theaters. There's a lot of great things going on with all of these people. They're successful business people. And I think one thing that Sue and I talked about much was that it didn't matter what the children became. We didn't care if they were actors or actresses, to be frank with you. We cared that they could stand up in front of a group of people and say, hello, my name is, and be proud of who they are. Amen. It's the most important thing to both of us. So I know that she is raining down her sunshine upon this place today with so much pride. And there wasn't a day, especially in the last year, that we didn't cover every student that I see in this room. She wanted to know everything. And and then she interjected things that I didn't know. And it was so wonderful, the love that she had for each and every one of you. So at this time, we'll see these remembrances, and then I will introduce Wayne right before we finish. Thank you. Or Wayne, if you just want to come on down, everybody knows who you are. And he's going to say a closing prayer and say a few words, and then I will close it out. Okay. Thank you, Joe.
Hi, my name is Britt Layfield, and I am one of the original members of the Junior Art Park Players. In fact, I was actually there before there was a Junior Art Park Players. I was there before there was an Art Park Players. I was there before Miss Sue. In fact, when her predecessor, Miss Janine, left, I was told by the adults in charge of picking a new director that I would have a very important role to play in choosing the next theater director. And why not, I thought as a child. I was one of a handful of kids who were already in the program. My parents were both very involved with the theater, and I thought I was the center of the universe. So it made total sense that they would look to me to find a new director. Now, looking back on it, I realized that the adults might have been having a little bit of fun with me, but I took it very seriously. And you know who else took it seriously? Miss Sue. She took me seriously when I interviewed her, and she took me seriously every single time I was around her. In rehearsals, in class, on stage, on a trip, on a project, she believed in me when no one outside of my parents did. She made me have confidence in myself and thought I was not crazy for wanting to chase my dreams. I'm sure that is something that she has done for dozens of people in this room alone. But I can honestly say that I would not be the person I am today without Miss Sue. I live in New York City and have my entire adult life. I have performed dozens of times in this city. I have produced numerous pieces of theater. I have run theater festivals and off-Broadway theaters. And none of it would have been possible if I had not met Miss Sue Fenley Meyers. She was my mom's best friend. And as a kid, that meant she was my best friend. And when they had a falling out, we had a falling out. And by the time I got to high school, I did not talk or interact with Miss Sue very much at all. Something that crushes me to this day. But about a dozen years ago, we were able to reconnect online and on the phone and establish a friendship again. And we realized we had one last little bit of magic in our relationship when my daughter, Nola Rose, was born on Miss Sue's birthday. Something we shared with each other every year since. When I heard about her death, I was reminded that there was a term that she used for our group. And she might have used this term for every group after us. But she used it for us for sure. She called us the incorrigibles. It is a term that means a group that cannot be changed or reformed. It was kind of meant as sort of a joke. But I realize now that there could not have been a more apt description of us. Not because we wouldn't reform, but because Miss Sue wouldn't let us. She had us believe in ourselves and what we wanted to do. And she was the best teacher I ever had. I love you, Miss Sue, and I will miss you forever. Rest in peace.
Hi, family. I'm coming. She's gonna be upset with me if I don't get on it. Okay. I wasn't sure how I would feel being back here, remembering the hours spent being a part of plays and productions, and all of those songs, those lyrics that still come into my head that I can sing every single one. But it still feels like home, and it is so, so good to see you. Confidence, spunk, bulldog, strong, stubborn, loving, demanding, laughing, showmanship. These are the words that I think about with Miss Sue. The last time I saw Miss Sue, we met in Colorado at a Cracker Barrel with my family, and when I followed her to our table, I nearly laughed out loud because her spunky saunter was still the same. It was just 2 years ago. That spunky saunter was still the same. Do you remember that saunter?
Yes.
Our family of 5 at the time, we had two twos, so we have twins that were 2 at the time, and let's just say our breakfast was quite an experience altogether. And I was profoundly struck but at her ability to speak the language of each of my sons. She had a gift for children, which we knew all along, but to see it through the eyes of my children really brought something home to me that I couldn't have seen as a child myself always. Monty, after meeting her, said, "She's a spry old thing." I said, "Monty, you'd get in trouble if you said that to her." Yes, she is. Later on, she'd become a pen pal with my oldest son and encouraged him through his first role as young Wilbur in Charlotte's Web. There are so many things I could thank her for, but here are a few. Miss Sue, thank you for being family, for creating a consistent place of growing confidence, belonging, and resilience. Thank you for your thoughtful feedback. Anyone else still remember that notebook? We all had both that terrified feeling when she would open that and start to go down. I'm like, oh, I hope it's a good thing she's going to say that I did this time. Thank you for loving me through all of my stages. My just moved from England little British accent stage at 4 years old, my think I know it all stage, my nerdy turquoise glasses stage. She loved me through all of them. Thank you for loving my voice, loving our voices, and for encouraging us to belt it out and not hold back, and to be uniquely ourselves. Thank you for teaching me teamwork, that my unique voice has a place to join to become a chorus in a bigger picture. We often have critters and science experiments happening in our home, and on the day she died, our very first butterfly emerged from its chrysalis. When I saw it, tears ran down my cheeks. And a few days later, we released all of the butterflies from their home habitat to outside. Elliot, my youngest, was very concerned. Where are they going to go? He wondered. Anderson asked me, are they going to their home? Once again, tears came down, and I said yes. Yes, they are going to their home. Silently, I thanked God for his hope that life doesn't end after death. That Miss Sue was greeted by my mom, Ashley Boyson, Jeff Smith, Bill Antone, Bill Schock, Dan Staley, Larry Manning, Mr. Heisler, Sue Barker, Charles Garrison, Debbie Hill, Robert Hall, Marilyn Prescott, Alfred and Juanita Tarver, and so many more that were part of this family. But even more than these, how wonderful to be face to face with her loving Creator who gave her all these gifts that have impacted us so greatly. And friends, I'd be remiss to say, but that loving Creator adores you too.
Thank you.
Please treat us all the same, unless your name was Steve or Tommy.
Hi there, it's Steve Boyson. I am so honored to be remembering our dear friend Miss Sue. I'm just sad that I'm not able to be there in person. We are taking care of my elderly father-in-law, but I am sending you all much love from Nashville, Tennessee. You know, when I think about my childhood and the ones that helped me become who I am today, I immediately think of my parents, a college professor, Marjorie Halbert, and Miss Susan Mealy. And when I met her, she was Susan McBee. Actually, she was Susan King. You know, Susan, that I love you. And then, of course, Miss Sue. You know, Miss Sue and Miss Susan gave me the opportunity to play Huckleberry Finn in a musical called Big River. This was when I was 16 years old, so it was about 1997. And in that show, I, was obviously as Huckleberry Finn, I was venturing out into the great unknown. And I realize now, all these years later, that it was really a metaphor for where I was in my own life. You know, sort of finding myself, trying to find my place in the world, and then along the way, encountering people that either supported me or struggled to accept who I was. But one of the things that I can say with confidence is that Miss Sue always accepted who I was. And she instilled confidence in me, and for that, I am forever grateful. There was a song from that show that I think is pretty fitting that I'll leave you with. I am not good at these kinds of videos, so I'll try to remember a little of it, and it goes like this. Far beyond horizons I have seen, beyond the things I've dreamed, beyond the things I've seen, of the things I've done. In fact, each and every one are the way that I was taught to run. I am waiting for the light to shine. Oh, I am waiting for the light to shine. I have lived in the darkness for so long. I am waiting for the light to shine. And you always help me shine, Miss Sue.
Okay. Sorry. First of all, I want to thank Susan, Kelly, and Jay for giving us as JAPP kids this day to celebrate Sue and what she was to us and the remarkable woman that she was. I have a little note from my father because he couldn't be here. So he, of course, he had to interject. Sue, I am so thankful that you convinced me to get on stage to do The Foreigner. Being on the stage definitely changed my life for the better. Good friends, fellowship, and an opportunity to grow as an individual. With more confidence. I'll see you soon. Love, Stan. And I know this is supposed to be within 5 minutes, but I will try my darndest. Now, what Miss Sue meant to my life. I'm going to be selfish. And if you knew me in this theater, I was selfish. This was my theater. I spent 14 years of my childhood here. This is my theater. First of all, I have to thank my sister Kathleen, because she was one of the original kids. She was an incorrigible. And if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have been a part of this program. And Britt, to change on that, our group was known as the Heathens. I can legitimately say that Sue was my second mother growing up. There are 3 women that were instrumental in shaping me into the man that I am today. First and foremost, my mother, Diana Garrett. Susan McBee, Mele, I don't know how to say her name. I've never been able to say it, sorry. And Miss Sue. And I can't thank them enough for putting up with me and helping to raise me. There's so many memories for me to talk about, but how do you capture an entire childhood and some 30 plus years as being a part of this program in a 5-minute speech? And let's say that I've got some doozies of all the kids that grew up in this program. My fondest memories are the classes in the green room at the Civic Center with me, Chris Mitchell, Josh Irvin, sitting on the back of that couch and flipping it over, and Sue getting pissed off at us. And I might say a few choice words, I apologize now. I was one of the youngest to start in this program. I had just turned 5, and you were supposed to be 6 whenever you started in this program. And I think Trisha was the next one to come in and start just a hair under me. I was in this program starting at the age of 5, and whenever I did my final show as a student, I was 19 years old. I had just turned 19. 14 years with Sue and Susan. My very first show was Babes in Toyland as a soldier. Then there was, and these are in no certain order, Cabbage Patch Kids, Johnny Appleseed, Free to Be You and Me, countless performances of Scrooge, and I will play Tiny Tim one day.
No.
Every 4th of July, rain or shine, out there singing, God Bless the USA. Was it? Yeah.
Yep.
You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. We took that to Austin, our first competition trip. I actually still have my little sweater. I brought it today. An amazing group of kids that group was. I was blessed. I spanned the originals through a lot of you kids that are here today that are much younger than me. Flashback, my sister Robin. Anyways, I can go on and on. One thing about me, Sue would get so, and I'm just gonna say it, she would get so pissed off at me as a kid because I'd want to be center stage. Whether I was supposed to be or not, I was gonna be center stage. And if I wasn't in that scene, I had to be sitting in Miss Ruth's lap on the side of the stage. Otherwise, I was out on the stage. No matter how mad she got at me or us, we always knew when we needed her, she would be there in a heartbeat. And I've already think I said this, but let's get real. I got away with murder here. I know there's some kids here who can definitely attest to that. As a teenager, I'd come up to the theater during the summers, and I would just hang out with Miss Sue in the office or back in the shop. We'd just sit there and hang out with her. And I would stay till the nighttime, and I would watch the adults doing their show, rehearsing. And I would usually be sitting right next to Miss Sue during the rehearsal. It's just the joy of watching her do her magic in directing. She took us kids on countless summer trips, but there's one that sticks out in particular for me. Picture this. You're 16 years old, legitimately on your 16th birthday, and you're hanging out at Graceland. Didn't want to be there. And your second mother, the woman that helped raise you, turns to you while you're sitting on a bench and goes, Michael, are you still a virgin? Just deadpan. She just said it. And I literally did not know what to say other than, yes, Sue, I am. And then I got the whole speech about the birds and the bees from Sue. Like I said earlier, lack for a better phrase, I was a pain in the ass. And I got into some trouble my senior year. And if you know this theater, you know that the police station used to be right outside those doors. And one day I got in trouble. And my happy little ass was sitting in there, in that jail. And all I can hear is Sue Meyers screaming at the top of her lungs. Can't say the words.
Sure.
No, I can't say that word.
Okay.
Basically, what the hell are you doing with one of my kids in here? And why didn't you come to me first? That woman, you just didn't mess with her, and you didn't mess with her kids. Doesn't matter how pissed off you were at her, she loved you no matter what. 15 years later, you could come up to her and hug her. She wouldn't even remember what you might have been fighting about. Sue was a mother figure first, for me. She loved us more than you could ever imagine. She may have pissed us off, but vice versa, we'd do anything. She would do anything for us kids, especially my group. And like I said, my group spans a lot, and I'm gonna name some of them. Heather Freetag, Drusilla Folks, April Nickel, Chris Mitchell, Josh Jordan, Josh Irvin, Robin Babbitt, Melissa Gutierrez, Alex, Steve, Tommy Heisler, Shane, Marla, Nelson, Amy and Chris Wegner, Kimberly Palmer, Sandra, Natalie, Anna, Trisha Filippini, and Jimmy and Jennifer Townsend. Those were a part of my group and my family. And we're still a family. They were my sisters and my brothers growing up, and they're still my family today because she and Susan made us a family by treating us like a family. And trust us, we could bicker like siblings know how to bicker. I'm wrapping it up, Susan. There's one song, because I live through music. I live my life through music. That's one thing that Sue taught me and Susan. There's one song that speaks to how she touched my life and so many other kids that came through this program. And I'm just going to read some of the lyrics. It's called It's Your Song by Garth Brooks. Standing in the spotlight on such a perfect night, knowing that you're out there listening. And I remember one time when I was so afraid, didn't think I had the courage to stand up on this stage. Then you reached into my heart and you found the melody. And if there ever was somebody who made me believe in me, it was you. Every night I pray before the music starts to play that I'll do my best and I won't let you down. And for all the times I stood here, the feeling feels brand new. And anytime I doubt myself, I'll always think of you. Because it was your song that made me sing, and it was your voice that gave me wings. It was your light that shined and guided my heart to find this place where we all belonged. It was your song. Dreams can come true with God's great angels like you. It's always been your song. I can say today that I have gained another angel to watch over me. And in true theater fashion, the show must go on. And from one of your big bow wows, happiness is our theater family. Thank you for all of your love. And I love you and I miss you so much.